How's it going, guys? I have a new deck profile for you today. I have the an updated, I think updated. We probably did it before. Red Eyes Tenyi build. Not too much has changed since last time. We got a new support card and a couple different links to mess around with. And Darkness Metal is a hard one to return now. So that old combo I had is gone out the window. But there's some still cool stuff you can do because of the Tenyi's free summons. So to get started, we have 3 of the Heavenly Dragon Circle, which is just an absolutely crazy card. The first effect, tribute and then summon a worm from the deck. I don't use that too much. It's mainly about the second effect when you discard, because you can discard it off of Shaman and Dragon's Ravine. And then you can just search for the counter trap. You can search for the field spell. You can search for... I think you can search for Vessel of the Dragon Cycle. But, no, you can't search for Vessel. But you can search for the counter trap, and that's the most important part. And it's just it's a counter trap negate. That's just a really good thing to have. And it's basically free. So, this is just a really nice card, because it, like I said, it's access to the GOAT. And then I play 1... the field spell, because it's searchable now off of this. If I already have 1, or even if I have 2 of the counter traps, I can discard that and then search for this. And then you have like a bunch of normal monsters on the field. They summon, you just draw 2 for free, and that's and it stays on the field. It's just a field spell, so that's just a really cool thing to do. 3 Vessel of the Dragon Cycles is just a phenomenally crazy card. Should have been a super rare by now in an OTS pack. You send a worm, and if you control a non-effect monster, you add a worm to your hand. Or you send a worm, and then you add a Tenyi, something like that. And that's just... it's set up, and then you add a card. And it just plays for itself, and then some. 1 Dragon's Ravine. It's not the most relevant thing, but if you're doing, like, some Red Eyes combos, you can go into this and then set up the grave a little bit with like a Tenyi grave. You can discard the Heavenly, and then and then you can send the our target is going to be the World Chalice guardragon, and then more likely than not you're able to send a Red Eyes to grave, so you can summon it out and then do some stuff. 1 for 1. It's just a really good card. You're always going to summon black metal off of this. There's not really many times where you want to summon the Adhara in place of it. But, if it comes up, it comes up. But, like I said, more often than not, 1 for 1's black metal. 2 Insight. There's a lot of, almost everything is just run at 2s. Because there's so many Red Eyes cards, and there's so many Tenyi cards that it's just hard to, keep track of. So, we're going to run our 2 Insight to send our normal Red Eyes to grave most of the time. And then search for something like Return or Spirit, or if we have Flare Metal on the field, we're going to search for Fanglet Chain. So when we have disruptions, or we have ways to get normal monsters on the field, and then our Tenyis can do Protect the Castle kind of stuff with the normal monsters. Next we have 2 cards of the Red Stone. Oh, sorry, not in frame. 2 cards of the Red Stone, just we have our level 7s in hand, so we discard them, draw, and then send another one. It's just a good thing to have in case you draw into our level 7s. For our Red Eyes traps, we have 1 Return of the Red Eyes. It's not much to say. It's just you just keep recurring Red Eyes out the grave, and if they have some kind of destruction, if they're gonna side in Twin Twisters or Lightning Storms against you, then this is a really good way to get any Red Eyes out the grave, Alternative or Darkness Metal, because they're gonna destroy it. You chain it, summon a normal, and then summon any Red Eyes. Next we have 2 Spirits. It's just just our Monster Reborn. That's a trap, just to bring out any any Red Eyes we might need. Mainly, believe it or not, hardly ever you're gonna summon Darkness Metal off of this. You're mainly gonna summon the normal ones just because of the Tenyis and how well they work with it. Or if you're just gonna block attacks, you're gonna summon the Baby Dragon. Next we have... Hello? Alright, camera just went all weird. Next we have 2 Fang with Chains. This is our disruption card. You know, it's searchable, do like 2 means, and it's just really good to, you know, disrupt your opponent. I brag about it. 2, what is this? Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi. I've never read the full name. This is just a really good counter trap. If you control a non-effect monster, you can negate a spell or trap. It doesn't negate and destroy, but just negating. I think monster effect too. Yeah, spell trap or monster effect. And if it's destroyed while set, you can summon a non-effect monster from your extra deck. So we're gonna summon Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons, 4,500, and all the Tenyis work with it. So it's just a crazy card. It can be pretty hard to get over too. Next we have 2 Adharas. Adhara is like really good for recycling your Tenyis. Like, you don't really want to see him turn 1, but like turn 2, well, I guess turn 3 if you're going first, you would want to see him. You know, you can bring something back like your Ashuna, you know, to summon something else from the deck and try and link climb and whatnot. But he's still really good. He's a tuner, but I don't run any synchros because I don't really have the room for it. But you know, you can run like something like Boral Savage or something if you can get the right combo going. For our level 4s, we have 1 Mapura, 1 Nahata, and 2 Shathanas. Mapura, well, basically you want to try and get all 3 of these engraved throughout like your first turn, you know, with Vessel and stuff like that, and then discarding. Well, at least if you have them in your hand, that's still the same thing. But you know, you can banish this and then bring back a monster and pop a card. So and people forget these sometimes. You know, they don't see it coming. You can lower their attack and you can negate targeting. And if you summon something like the Blue Eyes Ultimate, like I said, and you have like, I think like any 2 of these, it's like, especially the pop and the, not the revive, the pop and the lower their attack, it's gonna be such a hard monster to get over. Next we have, for our level 7s, 2 Ashuna and 2 Vishuddha. Sometimes you're just gonna sometimes you end up overlaying with these because they're 7, Red Eyes are 7, Flare Metals is rank 7, Lucky 7, you know, just draw 3 cards. But they're still, but Ashuna has like the best effect, especially when you're going with the Flare Metal stuff, because you overlay this and maybe like Vishuddha or alternative, and you detach this and you summon a normal Red Eyes, and you're not gonna really, once you have that Flare Metal with the Red Eyes, you're probably not gonna summon any more Red Eyes for any more like non-worms for the rest of the turn. So when you can banish this, and then you can start going off and like link climbing and whatnot with the Tenyi stuff. So it has a lot of really cool synergy because of that. Next we play 1 Gearfried, just because you know, we have the black metal, and I do. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 Gearfrieds. I thought something was wrong. Yeah, just because we have the black metal, and we have the Fang with Chains, you know. So we can pop cards if it's our turn, non-target, or we can Fang with Chain and pop during their turn. And also on Baby Dragon, so he's like the best target for Baby Dragon. Not much. Oh, and he summons a level 7 or lower Red Eyes. Well, if you detach and equip, so that can really come up for some Flare Metal plays. For our level 7 Red Eyes, we have 1 Black Flare, because he's no monster engraved and on the field unless you Gemini summon him, which is just phenomenally crazy thing with the Tenyis, because even if you normal summon it and it counts as an effect monster and he gains his effect, if they destroy it, then you can bring it back with the blue one, Shathana, I believe it was. Yeah, you can bring it back with Shathana, and then you can pop a card, and now it's like a non-effect monster all over again. So, and if they target it with, you can negate it with Mapura and whatnot. So it's always going to be a normal monster, and it's never really going to mess you up unless you draw it. That card's a redstone, which happens. But other than that, it's always going to be pretty good. Two red eyes, just because cards of red stone, flare metal, all that nonsense. Insight, that's like your cost. And then one alternative to summon. This is another special summon to help you go into flare metal, and that's their main uses. And then we have one darkness metal, of course. Not much I can really say. It's just a staple. It helps you get your summons out. Helps you go into some link 2s with the combo I've shown before, with the black metal, and you summon the black metal, and then you link it for Pisty, and then you banish the Pisty to summon him. You search for him off of the black metal, and then banish the Pisty, summon him, and then you summon the black metal, and you have a link 2, and you can search. Next we have two baby dragons, just in case things aren't going well. Just a little bit of defense, Baby dragon can really come in handy. And I don't know, I just really like him sometimes. Like, if things go bad and you have an insight, then you can send him, search for spirit, and then at that point you're hoping for the best, but sometimes hoping for the best works out for the best. Next we have 3 black metal dragons. This is like, if you draw like 2 Tenyis, and like this guy, it's like, there's so much you can do, like so many possibilities open up, especially if one of the Tenyis is Ashuna. Then there's like so much summoning you can do. You can end on not the craziest board, but you can end on some pretty like wild stuff. No one will really expect from, but no one's gonna expect you to play Red Eyes Tenyis. And you summon that, you do all that, they're not gonna expect that either. Next, for our level 1s, we just have, well, random level 1s, I'd say. World Chalice guardragon. This is our main target. Right back. This is our main target for World Dragon's Ravine. We search off of the Romulus, because it summons any normal dragon from the grave, but we can banish it and do that. And so we have the 2 red eyes and then the 1 black flare. So he's just a free summon from grave, and he can help out a lot. And then we have 1 Buster Dragon, because we play Union Carrier, because most of the time you're able to go into a flare metal, and flare metal with this guy is 3800, can't be destroyed by card effects, and that's a pretty hard thing to get over. Moving on to the extra deck, we play 1 Tenyi Spirit, how do you say that? Sahasrah. Tenyi Spirit, link 4. He's pretty crazy. He protects your effect monsters, which is weird, but it protects himself. And he summons a token during either player's turn, quick effect, and they can only target the non-effect monsters on your field with card effects and for battle, which forces them to, they'll be like, alright, they try and attack over this or something else you have, and you go, oh, his effect, you can only target one of those, and they get confused, and they're just like, oh, alright, I guess I'll just attack the token, or I'll attack the level 1, the link 1, or something like that. And then you start, and you go, okay, and then you banish your other Tenyis from grave and start activating effects, and then they don't know what to do. Next we have 1 Berserker of the Tenyi. He can be pretty tough to get over when you have the Mapura, Shatana, and the green guy, Nahada. When you have the 3 of them in grave and or hand, he gets pretty tough to handle, because it's tough to attack over him, because they're going to lose 1500. If they destroy him, you bring him back, pop a card, and if they target him, then you can just negate and destroy the targeting. So, but most of the time you're going to link up into him, because he is only 2 worms, he's pretty xenophobic, and he is like generic as can be, so mostly it's just link climbing. 1 Shaman of the Tenyi. It's a lot of setup, you discard and then summon, so you're able to go into Berserker, and it's just really good. If you can keep this on the field sometimes, go into the battle phase, attack with like a red eyes, pop a card, and then attack with this, you're getting rid of like 3 cards just off of 2 monsters, so that's pretty cool. 1 Romulus, because you can get rid of, like, if you have the guardragon Pisty and LP. You can get rid of the two of them, summon him, and then search for your ravine, and then start doing. You can just send the World Chalice and summon a Red Eyes. One Union Carrier, or like I said, we summon the Flare Metal, or sometimes you can even equip it onto Red Eyes Black Dragon, because you have stuff like the Mapura to stop targeting, and then like the other guy to stop to lower their attack, and then it's 34 and a little bit of protection around it, and you lock them out the extra deck with a Buster Dragon, so that's always a good thing. And then we play one Erratic. Sometimes things get a little rough, and this is like what's it called? It's like a backup play, or sometimes you blow through everything, and then you're on turn 3 and there's not much. You can go to this guy, and you can get some things started at least. You can disrupt by bouncing a card, and you can summon you can actually summon a normal Red Eyes, and then if you have the Shathana engraved, then when to destroy it, then you can bring it back and it's back to 2400, or you can bring out the baby dragon and they'll probably just attack over it again, and then what's it called? And then you can bring out a Red Eyes and it's 27, and then you still have all the level 4 Tenyis engraved to help you out. Next we play guardragon Pisty and LP. Man, so it's pretty self-explanatory. Most of the time you're gonna use one of them. I choose Pisty to summon black metal, and then you search for darkness metal and banish this, so you can do like other stuff. But sometimes with some really crazy hands you can actually do a little bit of guardragon stuff, and you always have the Romulus, so you can get rid of them. But sometimes if you really want to, you can link into Erratic, depending on your zones, what you have someone on the field. So they're just really good. They work out really well. Next we have 2 Monk of the Tenyis. Monk is just really good. You summon a Tenyi by its effect, and you link into this, summon another Tenyi, and then it's just like it starts the combo, and sometimes it sticks around just to help out here and there. It's just a really good. Surprisingly, for a Link one that's 1000 attack and no effect, is actually really good, which is weird. One Anima. You can play Link Rebo, but this is just, we do have quite a few level 1s. Sometimes we just, take a monster, and then, unfortunately that has no down zones, so it can be a little tough to try and get out of it, but I'm sure if you're smart enough, you'll find a way. For our XYZs, we have 2 Flare Metals, and then we have 1 number 11 Big Eye. This is just, our main combo. We're going to go into this guy, and if we go second, we're going to do Big Eye, of course, to try and take something crazy and hopefully break their board with their own monster, or just take like something that's a problem, and it's typical stuff. And then for our last card, we have the rival, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This is technically not our only target, but technically the best target, and well, actually not technically, literally the best target in the whole game for Monk of the Tenyi. When it gets destroyed, you summon this guy. He's 4500, and he has no effect, but you win the game because he's just 4500, and he's just hard to get over at that point. So that's the whole deck right there, and I hope you guys enjoy this.